When someone insults you, when someone intentionally offends you, don't give them the satisfaction of your reaction. When you let it get to you, not only are you giving them a part of your energy that you need for yourself, you're allowing them to manipulate your emotions and have control over your feelings and your thoughts. You can't control what other people think or say about you, but you can control how you react. Don't become a prisoner to their opinions, but be excited that this is an opportunity for you to pass a test and allow God to elevate you. It's definitely easier said than done, but once you practice the art of not being offended, life becomes so much more free and people's opinions will never have control over you and you control your life.
Welcome back, Boss Baes. And today we are excited to be joining you on your level up journey. Today we're going to be discussing a very interesting topic. On our level up journey, as we grow and develop the qualities that we need to become our higher selves or the person that we dream to be, we might end up encountering people who are often less than savory. And knowing how to deal with them and knowing how to handle ourselves in tough situations are really important. So in today's video, we are actually going to be looking at quite a number of ways that we can stand our ground and not allow anyone to play us about.
The next time somebody is walking around saying something rude and disrespectful about who you are, you're not going to react. You're going to treat it the same way as if somebody was walking around town saying that you are a potato, saying that you are purple. Like, you're not going to react to that. You know why? Because that's just so outrageous. Like, obviously I'm not a fucking potato. Obviously I'm not purple. That's the same way that you need to be reacting to all these type of insults. Like, I'm not even bothered by the fact that you said that about me because it's so untrue that you're not going to get a reaction out of me. So the next time somebody wants to call you annoying, rude, ugly, whatever the negative remark is, baby, it's the same thing as them calling you a fucking potato.
When someone's insulting you, how do you respond? Instead of acting on emotions, prove to this person that what they're saying to you is insignificant and you're not giving it any value. The way to do this? Pause. Let them feel uncomfortable in their own silence. And then simply ask, are you okay? Gets them every time.
If you haven't seen my post on psychology hacks, go back and take a look because this is in response to hack number 1. If someone insults you and you retort with, are you okay? And their response is, yeah, I'm okay, why? Know that you have already done your job. You have just taken the reins of that conversation and deflected it from you and the insult to them and their state of being. They are on the defensive. And that deflection buys you time to make your next move. And your next move is going to be something along the lines of squashing the conversation, walking away, giving it a little shrug, because overall, somebody who insults you is not worth your time. You know it and I know it, but they don't know it yet. Your part is done, and you did it with grace, humor, and a sense of confidence.
This is how to make someone regret insulting you. One is respond with kindness and care. Trust me. And here's an example. Why does your hair look like that? Are you okay? Why are you asking me that? You know this is my natural hair. You don't usually act like this. Is something wrong? Instant compassion and care. Number 2, respond with humor. Why does your hair look like that? Why does it look beautiful? I don't know. Ask my mom. I did get her jeans. Number 3 is demanding respect. You can be very serious and let them know that you are not playing with them. So here's the example again. Why does your hair look like that? And just look them dead in the eye and say, why does my hair look like what? And they'll probably respond with something like crazy and weird and it just doesn't look right. And then you just look at them and say, well, I think it looks beautiful, but thank you for your concern. I promise you, they will stop messing with you after that because they wanted like a dopamine hit and you did not give that to them. So if I left any other way to respond, let me know in the comments.
So somebody insults you. They're trying to get under your skin. Here are 3 hacks that are not only going to make them look stupid, but feel it too. If somebody is going out of their way to insult you, don't insult them back. Don't dignify them with the response. Instead, try the stare down method where you just look at them with no emotion, maybe a little bit of confusion, but this shows that you don't give a fuck. 9 times out of 10, this is going to throw somebody off enough to stop, but if they don't, misinterpreting an insult can go one or two ways, okay? 1, you take it as a compliment, which is really going to confuse a person. Or 2, You act confused. Really get them to explain what they're trying to say to the point that it doesn't even make sense when they're saying it anymore. And if all else fails, just agree with them. And I can already hear you being like, Bella, why would I agree with somebody that's insulting me? That is stupid, okay? I get it, but listen, you're going to agree and exaggerate because it makes people uncomfortable. If somebody's like, oh my God, do you never shut up? Be like, actually, no, I don't. My parents used to duct tape my mouth as a child just to get me to stop talking.
How to handle insults. When somebody insults you, they're looking for that hit of dopamine of your negative reaction, but we're not going to give them that because number one, we're going to add distance between what they said and how you respond. Two options. You can either stare them down, that brings awkward silence, makes them rethink their words, but eye contact's kind of hard for people. Another option is just to continue to do exactly what you're doing, as if what they said couldn't even bother you. Number two, if it's somebody I don't know very well and they insult me for some reason, I will ask them to give me their name and then to repeat the insult that they gave. And it totally takes the wind out of their sail. For example, what was your name again? Ryan? Andrew. Andrew. Hey, Andrew, I didn't catch what you said. Can you tell it to me again? Now, what they had previously said, if they say it, all the effect is gone. That hit of dopamine, not there. Number three, if it is somebody I know and they insult me, I'll actually agree to it. Because by agreeing to it, I totally take away that satisfaction of the dopamine. So if somebody puts me down, I'll say, well, maybe you're right. And just checking in, you feeling okay? At all times, I'm letting them know that I'm the one that is still here and still in control. And that's how I handle insults. So try that and follow me.
Have you ever had somebody say something extremely out of line or rude to you and you didn't know how to respond until later and then you're like, why the fuck didn't I think of it earlier? Me too. Here are 3 comebacks you can remember for on the spot when you have to deal with rude people. Number 1, try being informed instead of being opinionated. Number 2, did you mean to be rude? If so, you're doing an excellent job. I'm so sorry you're having a bad day. And number 3, thank you. I appreciate your perspective. Remember that walking away from the conversation, being the bigger person, gives you power and makes them look stupid. Be nice to people and treat other people how you want to be treated. That's all.
How to reply with a sarcastic insult.
Well, I would agree with you, but then we would both be wrong. I'm terribly sorry, but I'm really struggling to care. I never forget a face, but in your case, I think I'll make an exception. I'm really jealous of all the people who have never met you yet. Isn't it rather dangerous to use your entire vocabulary in just one sentence? Next time someone's annoying you, try one of them.
You're going to do one of 2 things if somebody tries to talk down to you or put you down in any kind of way. I've had a few questions, women asking like when he says something negative about my appearance, or I think it's called negging, like when they just like negative about you or something to get a reaction from you. The least powerful thing you can do is try and disagree and prove that you're not whatever he said, or that no, I don't look like that. No, really? Why would you say? No, you're not going to do that. You're going to do one of 2 things. Option number 1, he's made some kind of funny comment about your appearance. You're going to act like you didn't hear it. You're going to... And then sorry, what did you say? And by asking him to repeat it again, the joke loses its heaviness. You're going to act like it didn't even land. By someone having to repeat their stupid joke again, or how they tried to put you down again, it takes out the whole power. And once they repeat it, go, oh, okay. And just move on with the conversation. Another thing to do, if they've said whatever they've said, you can look at them and you can go, that's funny, good one, well done. By telling them good one, well done, you're still asserting yourself as the one in a position that's not being hurt, that's not valuing their opinion. You're just valuing their joke. Well done, good job. So those are 2 ways.
Here are 5 things you can say to someone when they are bullying, when they're mean, or if they are criticizing you. Number 1, if someone is making a comment about how you look, like, oh, your dress looks really ugly, just say, thanks for sharing. And that's it. You don't want to get into a tennis match because that's usually what kind of reaction they're looking for. Do not accept it. Just say, thanks for sharing. Number 2, let's just say someone decides to take it a step further and, you're making a speech and they say, you know what, that was the dumbest speech I've ever heard. Or you look like an idiot up on stage. Just say, I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. Can you repeat that slowly? Normally, they won't repeat themselves because they know that they will get called out on. And so if they say, never mind, forget it, Don't go after them and say, no, like, what were you going to say to me? Like, say it to my face. Like, don't do that. This is a time to allow them to retract what they say. The third thing that you can say is, are you trying to make me feel bad about myself? The person will either say no or yes. Sometimes people don't know that they're actually coming off as mean because that's not their intention. Maybe this is just a way of them trying to send a message. They just don't really know how to send a message. If the person says yes, I'm trying to be mean and trying to make you feel bad about yourself, then you tell them, you know what, it's not going to work because I'm not going to let that in. Oftentimes, people that are doing the bullying or they're trying to be mean, it's because they are trying to minimize and put you down to this level to make themselves feel better. But they start finding unappealing if they're throwing things at you and you're not taking it because it's not affecting you. Number 5, let's just say you're dealing with an adult bully, like someone at work, and they are relentless in their pursuit of just making your life horrible and just criticizing you. You just tell them, hey, listen, you do know that critical people who are the most critical of other people tend to receive or reserve a lot of criticism to themselves because they don't like themselves. So you're basically telling me and the entire office that you don't like yourself. Oftentimes, we have to understand that critical people, they project a lot of how they see themselves and how they feel about themselves onto other people in the attempts of, I guess, raising their own self-identity or making themselves feel better about them. So the next time someone is mean to you or rude to you or throwing, shade on you, don't let it ruin your day. Just take a deep breath and just remind yourself that you are the one in charge and you have that power whether or not to let that criticism in. If you choose not to accept that kind of gift, well, you're never going to get it. And who ends up with that gift? Themselves. They're the ones that eat their word and they're the ones that will be hurting at the end. I hope this helped. Please share with me any cases that you've been in where you had to deal with a critical colleague or a person and how you went about in dealing with that.
How to respond to rude comments at work. Hi, I'm Katie, the Big Apple Red, a global business leader, and I post on here to help you fast track your career. The next time someone makes a rude comment towards you at work, you should pause and calmly ask them, how am I supposed to respond to that? To give them pause, it should give you an opportunity to de-escalate the situation at hand. Now, they might continue with the badgering or the rude commentary, and here's how you'll follow up. You can ask, how do you feel when you say that to me? By doing this, you're focusing the conversation again on their poor behavior. Because the reality is, when someone is speaking to you and making rude comments to you, they are looking to get a reaction out of you. And by asking these questions, you are demonstrating that you are not going to stoop to their level, you're going to remain calm, and that they don't impact you. That their rude comments, their words, they don't impact you. And why is that? It's because you know your value and your self-worth, and you're not going to let someone else's rude comments or poor behavior bring you down.
Here are 5 ways to respond to a disrespectful remark without sounding rude. Respond with silence, because some disrespectful remarks aren't worth your emotional effort. If you must respond, don't respond with an impulsive reaction. Pause and think through your response. Detach yourself from the disrespect and clearly state your boundary by saying something like, this is way beneath me. I take it that you may not know a lot about me. Tell them in a quiet but firm tone, the way you just spoke to me is trespassing, and I'm giving you the permission to say this to me again in a more polite way. This will send the signal to them that you are not a pushover. In a situation where the disrespect is really derogatory of you, you can use non-verbal cues like gently getting up and removing your presence from the situation by walking away majestically or shaking your head in disagreement.
How to remain classy when responding to hate, disrespect, or rudeness, and why I absolutely don't believe in the word or in the saying being the bigger person. You're at the right place. This is my specialty. So I'm just gonna let you know how I react and what I think or my opinion is. Obviously, it doesn't have to apply to everyone. But for me, there's 2 ways I respond to disrespect. If it's online, I would say 99% of the time I would just ignore, block, and delete. If I don't like a comment, if it doesn't If it doesn't match my energy, if I don't like it, I'll just delete it and I block it. And I don't have to justify it to anyone because it's my profile and I'm allowed to remove things I don't like. Also, most of the times these people have no profile picture and self-love verse in their bio, and it goes to show that like their comment is basically just projection about their own insecurities, because a person that's balanced and in good spirit doesn't have to put hate out there. So I'm actually doing them a favor. So yeah, I'm not gonna comment on it because I'm not entertaining it. I don't want this energy. My energy is much more valuable, so you have to think of your energy as something extremely valuable and you have to decide where you want to spend it on. Now, if it happens in real life and even online, there's moments that you want to respond. For me, being classy doesn't have anything to do with being weak and not responding and not defending yourself. Actually, I think having boundaries and defending yourself is one of the attributes of having class when you do it in the right way, because to me, having class is all about having confidence and grace. And I think certainly never let anyone walk over you. And when I say I'm not a fan of the saying being the bigger person, I mean this applies to you when someone is rude to you. For example, if someone is rude to you or disrespects you, you're already the bigger person because they come up to you and you didn't do anything. One of the things though is I will never take any BS from anyone. I will always stand up for myself and for what I think is right. I'm also a very protective person. However, I do this in different ways. I would always block, delete, and remove myself, and I also do that in real life. And if I would respond, I always hold my composure. I think there's power in the fact that you don't let anyone decide on how you react emotionally. And a lot of people that are rude or disrespectful actually want a reaction from you. So they look really stupid when you don't react to that. When you remain objectively and you speak well and you have the right words, trust me, it's much more intimidating than if you would, get emotional about it. So yeah, that's how I react.
You may believe that saying nothing when someone insults you is the most elegant course of action, but it is not the wisest. Permitting anyone in your social circle or work environment to verbally assault you, especially in public, shows them and others that you are willing to be treated in such a fashion. Therefore, my darlings, here's Auntie Kiki's guide to not letting them get away with it while remaining reasonably polite. The first step is one I learned at my grandmama's knee. Keep a stiff upper lip and do not give them the emotional reaction they crave. It certainly kept Grandpapa in line. Now, the first technique Auntie Kiki will teach you is agree and amplify. This is where you take the insult and you agree with it and amplify it until it becomes a bit absurd and over the top. Example, when someone tells you, you are a stupid bitch, you respond, why thank you, being both stupid and a bitch has been quite the balancing act and I'm pleased you appreciate my efforts. Next technique is the pressure flip. This is where you take the insult, turn it around in your own verbal jab while still remaining reasonably polite. They say, you are a stupid bitch. You say, that's quite a compliment coming from the expert in that domain. Do teach me your ways, I can always improve. The next method uses agree and amplify and forces them to explain. They end up sounding quite petty. They say you are a stupid bitch, and you reply, darling, can you please elaborate before I say something needlessly bitchy? It is possible that in my stupidity, I mistook your original intention for something rude. If all else fails, command respect. Darling, I will not be spoken to in such a manner, and it is not becoming of you. If you find yourself frozen and cannot recall any of these methods, an uncomfortable, bizarre laugh will do. Finally, if you absolutely need the more aggressive approach to make yourself feel better, Auntie Kiki doesn't judge, simply try to keep the vulgarity to a minimum, darling. Oh, what's that on the floor? It looks like you may have dropped your pedigree papers, darling. Oh, never mind, it looks like it's a receipt from Walmart. Most importantly, make sure to steer clear of this person in the future. They are an arse and toxic, and nothing positive will come of any further interaction.